There are stories of war heroes that make headlines, and then there are those that never see the light of day. This is about the latter. At a massive naval base in the Pacific, thousands of sailors and pilots rushed around, preparing for yet another day serving the fleet. Among them was a young woman, quiet, unnoticed, wearing the same trainee uniform as everyone else. Her name was Ava Reign. To most, she was just a newbie, a fresh face in a world built on rank and fear. But what they didn't know was that she already held a title that could silence the loudest officer in the room. Welcome to United War, where impossible stories become reality. Intro music rises, then fades. Scene 1. The new arrival. It was early morning. The aircraft carrier USS Valor cut through rough ocean waves like a steel mountain. Jets roared overhead during drills. Crews shouted commands. And Ava simply walked, head down, clutching a folder. Most trainees looked nervous. Ava? She looked ready. A group of young pilots noticed her and laughed among themselves. Pilot number 1. Looks like another rookie, probably here to fetch coffee for the real pilots. Pilot number 2 smirked. She might faint just hearing the engines roar. Ava heard every word, but remained silent. Narrator. They had no idea who they were talking about, and soon they would regret those assumptions. Scene 2. The briefing room. The steel doors slammed shut as dozens of pilots took their seats. On the giant screen, satellite images of unidentified threats moving closer in ocean waters. Commander Holt scanned the room, then his eyes landed on Ava. Commander Holt, firm. You, new girl, back row, name. Ava calmly stood. Ava Reign, sir. A few chuckles echoed. Commander Holt narrowed his eyes. Holt. And your flight status? Observer? Assistant? Ava's answer was simple. No status assigned yet, sir. The room reacted instantly. Whispers, scoffs, smirks. Pilot number 3 whispered loudly. Knew it! A pure rookie! But Holt's instincts whispered something different. She didn't stand like a rookie. She didn't look afraid. She looked like someone who knew too much. Scene 3. The Admiral appears. The silence fell like a shadow. Shoes clicked sharply against the floor. A shadow loomed behind the commander. Admiral Crow, the highest-ranking officer on the carrier, entered. Everyone stood. Everyone except Ava seemed anxious. Crow's eyes scanned the hall, then locked onto her. You're late. Ava nodded once. Traffic, sir. The room froze. Someone nearly choked. No one joked with Admiral Crow. No one talked to Admiral Crow like that. Crow stepped closer. The tension felt suffocating. Then, something unexpected. The Admiral smirked. You haven't changed, Lieutenant. Lieutenant! Gasps filled the air. The pilots stared in disbelief. Pilot number 1. Lieutenant? She's not a trainee? Ava reached into her folder and placed a small black case on the desk. Inside, a gleaming badge. Special Operations Flight Leader, Naval Black Wing Division. A unit so classified, most believed it didn't exist. Narrator. The room realized the truth. Ava Reign wasn't here to learn, she was here to lead. Scene 4. The Secret Mission. Crow turned toward the screen. We have intel of an enemy stealth fleet advancing toward our coastline. Their technology is unlike anything we've seen. The images flickered, strange radar signatures, cloaked shapes moving underwater. Crow continued, "We need someone who can fly under the radar, hit before they know what hit them." He looked straight at Ava. "That someone is you." Commander Halt's jaw dropped. Pilots stared like they were seeing a ghost. Halt. "Sir, with all due respect, she came alone. No record of her arrival. No chain of command." Crow answered coldly. "Her record is above your clearance level." A murmur spread, fear and fascination growing together. Scene 5. A flash of the past. A quick cinematic flashback. Dark skies, Ava in a combat jet, missiles locking on to enemy aircraft. Narrator. They didn't know that Ava Reign had already fought in the skies where many never returned. She had earned her badge in fire and blood. Flashback ends. Back to the room, Ava is unreadable. Scene 6. Challenge. Pilot number 2, the one who mocked her earlier, stepped forward. Pilot number 2, defensive. "If she's so skilled, why haven't we heard of her?" Crow turned sharply. "Because the enemies who met her never lived to tell the story." Silence, the kind that chills bone. Ava spoke finally. "I'm not here to impress anyone. I'm here to make sure you live long enough to take the credit." Even Crow cracked a grin. Narrator. The legend had just begun. Scene 7. The Assignment. Crow handed Ava a sealed mission folder, Project Silent Storm. Crow. You deploy at dawn. Battles are coming, and you aren't just part of the mission. You are the mission. Ava saluted. Everyone watched, stunned. Ending build-up for Episode 2. Narrator. She arrived as a nobody. She was mocked like a rookie. But the flash of an Admiral badge revealed a secret warrior. Tomorrow, she takes flight, and the world will learn why the name Ava Reign is whispered by enemies and respected by the dead.
Yesterday, she arrived as a trainee nobody cared to notice. But when the Admiral addressed her as Lieutenant Ava Reign, the entire Navy learned a truth they weren't ready for. She wasn't there to learn. She was there because war was coming. Scene 1. Dawn before the storm. First light hit the deck of USS Valor. Helmets clanked, engines roared, pilots moved with purpose. Ava stood near her jet, a modified F-77 Phantom Storm, an aircraft that didn't officially exist. Crew Chief Mason, inspecting her jet, whispered to himself, "This aircraft has systems we can't even name." Ava tightened her gloves, her eyes fixed on the horizon. No fear, no hesitation, only calculation. Narrator, she had done this before, tracked enemies that weren't supposed to exist, destroyed fleets the world never learned about. This mission would be no different. At least, that's what she told herself. Scene 2. The briefing. Inside the war room, Admiral Crow pointed at intelligence feeds. Crow, the enemy strike group is using next-generation stealth technology. They believe they are invisible, and they're counting on us being blind. He tapped the image. The radar signatures blinked faintly. Crow, Operation Silent Storm. Find them, mark them, eliminate them. Commander Holt watched Ava carefully. Holt, you fly alone? Ava, always. Pilot number 1, the loud skeptic from before, couldn't hold back. Pilot number 1, you think you can take out a whole stealth fleet solo? Ava looked at him, expression empty, voice razor sharp. I don't think, I know. Narrator, confidence wasn't arrogance when it came from someone who had already survived the impossible. Scene 3, wheels up. The deck crew cleared as her jet rolled forward. Headset comms crackled. Crow, Silent 1, call check. Ava, Silent 1, weapons live, radar set to ghost mode. Taking the sky. Her engines ignited, a thunderous roar shaking the carrier. Narrator, and like a shadow detached from the day, she disappeared into the clouds. Scene 4, into enemy territory. 50 miles from the coast, the ocean turned eerily calm. Ava's instruments flickered. Radar static. No visual on enemy vessels. Ava activated a classified system. Spectral sweep. A sensor that read heat signatures through ocean surface distortion. Suddenly, faint blips appeared. Multiple blips. Moving fast. Ava smirked. There you are. Narrator, the enemy wasn't just close. They were already targeting the American shoreline. Scene 5, the first kill. Her missile systems locked onto the lead ship. A whisper in her comms, the enemy detecting her presence. Enemy radio, static. Unidentified aircraft, disengage or be destroyed. Ava calmly replied, wrong order. She launched. Boom! Water erupted sky high. The stealth hull shattered into flame. Narrator, the invisible enemy was invisible no more. But victory was short. 3 enemy drones dropped from the sky, sleek, silent, and deadly. Ava's radar pulsed red. Ava, so you want to dance? The dogfight ignited, missiles weaving like venomous serpents. Ava flipped upside down, diving between incoming fire, maneuvering like the jet was an extension of her own body. Commander Holt watched from Valor's command screen, stunned. Holt, that's not piloting, that's art. Admiral Crow remained silent, but pride glimmered behind his stern eyes. Scene 7, psychological warfare. Enemy comms taunted her. Enemy sniper pilot, we know who you are, Ava Reign. We've been hunting you for years. Ava froze for a split second, a name she hoped no one would speak again. Shadow Hydra, a secret enemy organization responsible for massacres she survived. Hydra pilot, we killed your squad once. We will finish the job. Ava's voice turned cold as steel. You killed the wrong people. I'm not here to survive. I'm here to erase you. She fired, 2 drone kills spiraling into the water below. Only 1 remained. Scene 8, the warning. The last drone retreated, heading deeper into enemy territory. Ava followed, but headquarter comms crackled violently. Crow, Reign, return now. That's an enemy trap. But the signal cut. Alarms screeched in her cockpit. Her systems jammed. Flames shot from her left engine. Ava wrestled with the controls, gritting her teeth. Narrator, the enemy wasn't running. They were luring her towards something enormous. Through the clouds, metal surfaced, a colossal stealth command battleship, far larger than any naval intelligence predicted. Ava whispered, "No way. That thing could take out an entire fleet." C9, cliffhanger. Her emergency alarms blared, oxygen warning, fuel dropping, weapons offline, and then a final Hydra transmission. Hydra Commander, "Welcome home, Ava Reign." Her jet spiraled downward. Screen cuts to black. Narrator, the hunter had become the hunted. The strongest pilot in the Navy was now trapped behind enemy lines. But the world had yet to see what Ava Reign does when she refuses to fall.
Ava Reign, once underestimated, now the Navy's most vital weapon, was spiraling toward the ocean, her jet bleeding fire. The enemy she dedicated her life to destroying had finally cornered her. But Ava didn't fear death. She feared failure. Scene 1. The crash. The ocean exploded as Ava's jet hit the waves. Water surged into the cockpit. She cut herself free, gasping for air before vanishing beneath the dark surface. When she came up, an enemy stealth patrol hovered above. Searchlights sliced across the water. Ava dove again, lungs burning, vision blurring. Narrator. A lesser pilot would pray not to be found. Ava Reign? She prayed they would land close enough. Scene 2. The silent takedown. A patrol soldier leaned over the edge, scanning. He never saw the hand yank him into the sea. Ava climbed onto the stealth craft, dripping and ice-cold like a risen specter. 2 more guards attacked. 3 seconds later, both were unconscious. Narrator. She was never just a pilot. She was trained to survive anywhere, land, sea, or hell itself. She commandeered the boat and sped away, teeth clenched from pain. Ava whispering, "I'm not done yet." Scene 3. On the carrier. Back on USS Valor, chaos brewed. Commander Holt slammed his fist on the control table. Holt, "We can't lose her. She took out a stealth destroyer alone." But Admiral Crow's expression was darker. Not fear, guilt. Crow, "If Hydra knows her name, then they know ours." Holt stared. Holt, "What aren't you telling me, sir?" Crow avoided his gaze. Narrator. Some truths are more dangerous than any missile. Scene 4. Hydra's floating fortress. Ava guided the stolen craft toward the giant enemy super battleship, a floating metal giant with cloaking panels, underwater launch bays, and a command tower like a fortress. Ava, "You wanted me? Now you've got me." She docked stealthily and climbed aboard. Dark corridors, red emergency lighting, and then voices. Hydra Commander, "You won't survive long. Bring me her body." Ava smirked. Ava, "You'll have to settle for disappointment." She planted a magnetic device beneath the hull, a delayed explosive, her escape plan already set. Scene 5. The past returns. While navigating deeper into the ship, Ava paused, staring at a symbol etched on the wall, a 3-headed serpent, Shadow Hydra. Narrator. Years ago, they ambushed her squadron over a hostile coast. Only one pilot survived. Her. Hydra Commander's voice echoed through intercom speakers. "Hydra, Ava Reign, you should have died with them." Flashback. screams over the radio, her wingman's jet exploding into dust, her own cockpit cracked and bleeding. Her mentor's final message: "Stay alive, Ava. Make them pay." The memory hardened her breath. "Ava, I intend to." Scene 6. Betrayal on USS Valor. Meanwhile, Holt kept trying to radio her. Holt: "Reign, do you copy? We are mobilizing a rescue." A warning flashed on the main screen. Internal security breach. An officer pulled a gun, but before anyone reacted, he shot a sailor and grabbed Holt hostage. Hydra mole. She is ours. This entire fleet will fall next. Crow drew his pistol, anger shaking his hands. Crow: "You traitor! We trusted—" Bang! Holt tackled the mole just in time. The shot grazed Crow's arm. Security rushed in, capturing the mole. Crow glared with fury and fear. If they're inside our ship, then Hydra's plan is bigger than Ava. Scene 7. Face to face. Inside the command center of Hydra's ship, Ava kicked down the doors. Hydra commander stood waiting, tall, armored, calm. Hydra commander: "You became legend, Ava. But legends die too." Ava's hand hovered near her sidearm. "Ava, I'm not a legend. I'm the consequence of your mistake." The commander laughed and nodded toward the glass wall behind him. Missiles. Dozens. All aimed at the U.S. coastline. Hydra commander: "You can kill me, but in 45 minutes, millions will drown in fire." Ava's pulse slowed, her eyes burning sharper. Narrator: She was no longer fighting for a mission. She was fighting for humanity. Scene 8. Decision. She triggered a silent beacon, a signal only Admiral Crow would recognize. Crow viewed the alert and gasped. Holt: "What is it?" Crow: "She's going to destroy the entire ship, with herself still inside." Holt: "No, we get her back." Crow: "She knows the stakes. If she fails, we lose America." Narrator: Sometimes the strongest warriors are forced to choose between victory and survival. Ava whispered to herself, "I'm ending this." A countdown beeped from her explosive device. 45. Minutes 49. 44. 48. The commander stepped closer. Hydra commander: "So, Lieutenant, how do you wish to die?" Ava raised her weapon. Ava. Standing. Gunfire erupts. Screen slams to black. Narrator: Intense. Alone in enemy territory, outnumbered, outgunned, she vows not to fall until her last breath fires the last bullet. But will the world remember her as a soldier or a savior?
Gunfire tore through the command room. Ava Reign rolled behind a steel console, sparks raining around her. The Hydra commander advanced, mechanical precision in every step. Hydra commander: "You can't win, not this time." Ava checked her ammo, only one magazine left. Exhaustion shadowed her face, but not defeat. Narrator: Heroes aren't defined by the battles they win. They're defined by the ones they refuse to lose. Scene 1. The fight of her life. She burst from cover, firing in controlled bursts, each shot landing with ruthless accuracy. The Hydra armor absorbed most rounds, But Ava moved faster, smarter. She slid beneath a console, kicked a loose energy cable, and sparks exploded into his armor. Hydra commander staggered. Ava leapt, driving her knee into his helmet, knocking him through a tactical scream. He rose, blood pouring, eyes burning. Hydra commander, you still that scared little pilot? Ava, no, I'm the one you should have never let survive. They charged, steel versus will. A storm unleashed in a metal cage. Scene 2. Enemy reinforcements. Doors blasted open, Hydra soldiers poured in. Ava dove for a fallen rifle and unleashed rapid fire. One by one, they fell. But the commander seized her by the throat, lifting her off the ground. Her vision dimmed. Time slowed. Narrator. For the first time, death felt close enough to touch. But Ava smiled and pressed a hidden trigger in her palm. Flashbang detonation, a burst of blinding white. The commander dropped to his knees, screaming. Ava gasped for air. Ava, I don't die in darkness. I bring the light. A brutal final punch. His helmet shattered. He collapsed. The serpent had lost its crown. Scene 3. The countdown. 12 minutes remaining. The reactor core beneath the ship shook violently. Alarms screamed. Structural failure imminent. Narrator. Ava had a choice: escape or ensure the monster sank permanently. She took the hard choice. She limped through corridors, planting the remaining charges, one last punch to a fleet of shadows. Scene 4. The Navy strikes back. On USS Valor, Admiral Crow wiped blood from his arm. Crow. All fighters, launch. Cover her path out. Jets fired from the deck, F-35s slicing across the sky. Missiles slammed into Hydra escorts, metal giants turning to boiling flame. Commander Holt smashed his fist on the rail. Commander Holt, hold the line, she's coming home. Scene 5. The escape. Ava reached a hangar, a sleek enemy stealth jet waiting. She climbed in, hands trembling. 5 minutes left. Systems online. Engines roared. But the bay doors jammed shut, hydraulic failure. Ava slammed the throttle. The jet shot forward, crashed through the steel gate. She blasted into the night sky. Scene 6. Final pursuit. Hydra drones swarmed behind her, tracing her exhaust. Ava zigzagged through missile trails, but her fuel alarm shrieked. Critical! Holt's voice cracked over radio. Holt, Ava, we see you. Just keep flying. Crow, Valor has you on radar. Bring the ghost home. Ava, no promises. 3 drones left. She pulled into a vertical climb, stalled the jet, flipped inverted, and took out all 3 with a single burst. Her jet wasn't flying anymore. It was falling. Ava, I'm not done. Not yet. She ejected. Scene 7. The sky on fire. A parachute snapped open, winds thrashing her. As she drifted down, the entire Hydra battleship erupted into a blinding fireball. The explosion lit the ocean like a second sun. Narrator. 1 ship gone, 1 war averted, 1 hero falling from the heavens like a star. A rescue chopper shot through the flames, U.S. flag gleaming. Crew voices echoed, "We got her." They grabbed her midair, hauling her into safety. Ava finally collapsed, not from defeat, but because the fight was over. Scene 8. The honor they owed her. 2 days later, on the deck of USS Valor, hundreds of sailors stood in perfect formation. Ava stepped forward, arm in a sling, uniform sharp, scars visible. Admiral Crow held a medal, one reserved only for those who save nations. Crow, you were never just a pilot. You were our shield when we were blind, our sword when we were defenseless. He saluted first, deep, sincere. Then the entire fleet saluted. Thunderous silence of respect. Narrator, the woman they mocked as a trainee had become the Navy's greatest protector. Ava gazed towards the sea. Ava, softly, for those who didn't come home, this victory is yours. Scene 9. Final emotional ending. Night fell. Stars mirrored in the ocean below. Ava stood alone, wind brushing her hair. Her comms crackled, an uncrypted message. Unknown voice. We have a new mission for you. Codename Night Reign. Ava smirked, determined eyes glowing beneath the moonlight. Ava, tell Hydra their nightmare is back. Camera pulls away, music rising. Title appears.